don't really understand what's going on in WWE at the moment, but I do know when I, Simon Miller, the positive beacon of power, start thinking to myself, why would anyone need to tune in the following week given what we've just seen? You gotta figure that something is very wrong. Now, I'm still gonna be positive, like I just said. Always look on the bright side of life, but don't be a moron at the same time. Welcome to Ups and Downs, the show when we give the good bits an up and the bad bits to down. Today we're gonna do Smacker Down. Let's up those downs. Why was Michael Cole on SmackDown? That was my first thought as WWE takes the brand split and tries to continually set it on fire. He was doing an in-ring interview with Kofi Kingston, and for the whole time, Michael Cole sounded like a Wikipedia entry. Down. For some reason, we then went through every single thing that Kofi Kingston had done from the start of 2019, but I guess if you are a new fan, this would have been helpful. So in that sense, I'm all good with it. But the problem is, if you had watched 7 days ago and you'd seen Kevin Owens turn on Kofi Kingston and you wanted to answer, you had to wait an eternity before we got to that bit. Like, let's imagine that wrestling is real. I know, crazy. If you were able to get an interview with one of the top guys in the company and he'd just been screwed over, you wouldn't go, hey man, how was winning that championship at WrestleMania 35? Everybody knows about that. WrestleMania 35 was weeks ago. It got so off topic, I started to think that I travelled back in time. I was walking around my room going, hey, Marty McFly, where are you? And it took a full 8 minutes, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is before Michael Cole even mentioned KO's name. You gotta do it quicker than that, and I know I sound like a pedant, but if you had gone to watch Avengers Endgame and the first chunk had just been Infinity War again, you wouldn't have been very happy. You may have even got out of your seat, found an usher and gone, I think you're playing the wrong movie. Anyway, eventually Owens came out too, and the long and the short of it is that we are going to get Kevin Owens versus Kofi Kingston for the WWE title at Money in the Bank. At that point, Xavier Woods tried to jump Owens. He failed. Kofi Kingston then chased Kevin away into the backstage area. Now, all of this was fine, but after the kind of mundane nature of Raw, I felt like we needed something explosive here to kick off SmackDown. And I can't tell a lie, I actually can't. I'm like Jim Carrey, this was not the way. Also, the crutch of this feud and the reason that Owens did turn on Kofi Kingston is because, in his words, Kofi Kingston is not championship material. And you know those words came straight from the mouth of one Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Afterwards, in the medical room, Kofi checked on Woods and told him he can't be doing stuff like that because of his bad back. It sounded a bit like Kofi Kingston was the grandson, Xavier Woods with his granddad. Another down too, because on her way to the ring to have a non-title match against Becky Lynch, WWE just announced that Bayley would be in the Money in the Bank ladder match. How does that make any sense? Surely you have to have some kind of momentum or some kind of success to be allowed to go in. But no, apparently not. Like, even if she'd lost against Becky Lynch, which she did, she was still going to get another opportunity within a few weeks. Down. I did like the match though, so we can give that an up. It was nice and simple, and eventually Bayley tapped out to the disarmer, because of course she did. What real implication did she have to try and win? Again, she knew regardless what happened, she would just get another shot. Before Becky's entrance too, we also had the ring announcer run down all her achievements, or specifically, please welcome the woman that made history at WrestleMania 35 by winning 2 belts in the main event. So I guess there is some kind of new initiative to try and explain to new fans about what's going on. That's how I took it anyway, and if you are doing that, WWE, good, but it needs some serious tweaking. Obviously, afterwards, Charlotte appeared from nowhere and attacked both of them, and she even threw Bayley into the ring post. Damn that Charlotte. Following that was another In a Dark Room promo by Aleister Black, and again, this time, he sounded a lot like an early Alice in Chains song. But look, listen, we're focusing on Aleister Black. I love Aleister Black. I think, if we take our time with him, he could rise the ranks. And also the last thing he said was fade to black, and I took that as a Metallica reference. It was not, but I love Metallica, so for all those reasons, give it up. Over the last few weeks too, you may have heard some rumors that Jeff Hardy is injured, and because of that, he'll have to give up his tag team championships alongside brother Matt. Well, here, they did come to the ring, and yes, that rumor is 100% true. Jeff has to go away, he needs surgery, he said it could be a very long time, and the Hardys relinquished their titles. Obviously that sucks, and when something sucks, we give it a down, but Jeff Hope you get better soon, my friend. It's an up for how WWE tied this all into the story, though. Just as Matt and Jeff were giving a rising speech, Lars Sullivan came out, and that's the person who WWE put the blame on in terms of why Jeff was hurt. To begin with, he backed off to the corner, Matt Hardy went in there and started throwing some fisticuffs, he fails, and when Lars decided he'd finished the job, when it came to Jeff, R-Truth appeared from nowhere and hit him with a steel chair. Obviously that did nothing. Steel chairs don't work on big men in WWE, R-Truth, you should know that. And he got laid out with the freak accident and a running powerbomb. Lars Sullivan is still standing tall, and again, if you're going to push a big guy, this is how you push a big guy. He comes across like a monster. Then in one segment, WWE just shrugged their shoulders. They put a Money in the Bank graphic on the screen, and we just got told who was going to be in it from the SmackDown side. It's going to be Randy Orton, it's going to be Ali, it's going to be Finn Balor, and it's going to be Andrade. How am I meant to care, WWE, when clearly you don't give two hoots either? Down. Kairi Sane and Asuka then beat up some random jobber tag team, which was good because they won and it establishes this new pairing. The finish came after Kairi Sane hit her insane elbow onto one of them, and throughout all of this, the Iconics were on commentary, being really annoying, but in the way they're meant to be annoying. I quite like the Iconics. Give it an up. We still have to throw another down in here though, because somebody within WWE has made the decision when it comes to Kairi Sane and Asuka as a tag team that all we're going to do for their entrance music is at one point we fade up Asuka's and we fade down Kairi Sane's, but then at a random interval we change them around. So the two songs are crossing over like this constantly and it's really distracting. It would be like me doing ups and downs like this. Hello, What Culture Wrestling. Welcome to Ups and Downs. It's really great to see you here. I can't wait to tell you. And Randy Orton was there, and Randy Orton was given some RKOs. I was like, but why? What happened? Why would RKO screw someone over like this? AJ Styles got off his chair and he looked at Seth Rollins and said, I know you stole my chocolate, you mother Hubbard, and because of that, I'm gonna kidnap your son. And then lo and behold, Kevin Owens was revealed as the man behind this master plan to ensure that all the soup in the world was drained into the oceans. Right, we're done with that. That was weird, wasn't it? Let's move on, because we then cut to the back and we had Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville having a conversation with Mandy telling Sonya, look, I chatted to Shane McMahon and he said he's only going to put one of us in the Money in the Bank match. Why is Shane McMahon all of a sudden involved? I mean, did he put the Raw people in there too? What's worse, Sonya Deville just said, well, if that's the case, Mandy, you can go in. You deserve it. I'm worried, friends. I am really worried because straight up, this is not good storytelling. Sonya Deville may as well have just said, well, you know what? You can go in because I don't really care. I can be at home eating a scone. And I love scones. Down. Roman Reigns' time next. I'm going to say this. It is going to get an up because it was fine and also because I just have the need to give out some ups. But with that said, still really weak, man. I mean, there's not a lot going on here. My whole problem with both Raw and SmackDown this week, as we talked about in the intro, is there is no impetus to tune in next week because they didn't plant any seeds. But hey, here-ho, Roman Reigns, give him it up. Basically, Roman just said that this is his yard. Shane McMahon came out and said, no, it's not, it's my yard. Roman Reigns said, well, if it is a McMahon's yard, it's not yours, it'd be your dad's. He owns everything. Then Shane McMahon brought out the B team. Elias was a special guest referee. It was a handicap match. Roman Reigns still won, even though Elias tried to get involved. And I like Roman, I like the B team, and I like Elias, but in no way do these three things come together to forge something that you'd want to see on your TV. And if you really do want to know, yes, Roman Reigns hit the spear on Curtis Axel. Shane McMahon wasn't there because he had to fly out to some super special training camp to get ready for his match against The Miz at Money in the Bank. If nothing else, it just felt like WWE going back to the well, and we don't need to go back to the well right now. We need to build some super duper fountain which tastes fresh and looks amazing. We also re-aired the second Bray Wyatt Fireflower Funhouse video, and if you want my opinions on that, go watch Raw Ups and Downs. We don't need to talk about it again. Finn Balor and Ali then beat Andrade and Randy Orton. As I always say, this was a good match because the talent in it were good, so give it an up. But don't let it escape your mind that yes, this is the exact same thing we did with the Raw Money in the Bank dudes. Just throw them all in a tag team match. Balor and Ali won after the latter had smashed Andrade with a 450. Randy Orton then gave Finn Balor an RK out of nowhere. Ali chased him off out of the ring. Ember Moon and Carmella are also going to be the last two people in Money in the Bank, and that was announced during a backstage promo, which sounded like the most scripted thing ever. At one point, Ember Moon said, "I'm a woman of many names, but I haven't made a name for myself." Nobody talks like that. Down. And then we ended with the Kevin Owens show, and I couldn't believe it because it was almost identical to the main event segment that we'd seen on Raw. Have I gone crazy? Am I just tired? Has something got in my brain and just ripped out all my positivity glands? Because I couldn't believe it, and therefore I've got no choice. I don't want to do this. I'm sorry. But down. Xavier Woods was supposed to be the guest on the Kevin Owens show, but he never arrived, I guess, because he was nursing his poor back. So after a while, Kevin Owens got 2 action figures out instead. One was Woods and one was Big E. And that was kind of funny as he threw them down and said, "Oh, look, you're a pile of losers." Apparently, that really annoyed Kofi Kingston. Don't muck around with New Day merchandise. And they had a big brawl before Kofi Kingston eventually chased Kevin Owens off, which meant the last shot on SmackDown was Kofi Kingston standing tall. Much like on Raw, the last shot was AJ Styles standing tall after the 2 people in the championship match had a brawl. Someone come help me. I need help. I cannot believe it. It's just such a surprise to me because I felt like coming out of the back at WrestleMania 35, there was a bunch of new stories that we could tell, and the Superstar Shake-Up was meant to help with that, but instead nothing has changed. WrestleMania 35 feels like it didn't even exist. I say I'm still positive, I still enjoyed it. I'm not saying this has ruined my life, but I have to put my critic hat on sometimes. I put my critic hat on, this is what I think. Now I need to go and lay down. I've kind of destroyed everything that I hold dear. Damn you, WWE. Now don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you thought about last night's SmackDown. Like, share and subscribe. Head on to WhatCulture.com, read yourself some articles. Follow WhatCulture on Twitter, WhatCulture WWE. Watch more videos here on WhatCulture Wrestling, especially those from our live show at WrestleMania. They're really cool. I enjoy them all. My name is Simon Miller. You have been watching WhatCulture Wrestling. Thank you very much. I'll see you soon.